Hey guys, welcome back to the Spiritual Safe House. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Laura and I'm your Christian energy healer. So today we are going to talk about how you can create your passion and your purpose without holding yourself back. Okay, I think this is so huge because we can literally be in our way all the time. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today: how we get in our own way and how we can get out of our way. All right, so as people hop on, I'll just repeat that a little bit. I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to hop on here. So, but this is I think this is something that most people can relate to, right? And not even with just finding your passion and your purpose, but with a lot of things in our lives that we get in our own way. We are our own worst critics, right? So, you're probably harder on yourself than anybody else. So that's kind of what we're going to get into today, all right? So we're going to look at 3 different things that can show you, and there are a lot of things, but these 3 I think are like the main points of why people can get stuck in that place of holding themselves back, and how you can use those things to your advantage by becoming aware of them, right? Because we have to be aware of things before we can change them. So by becoming aware of these things, you will be able to make a purposeful change, to do something different and being able to find your passion and purpose. Okay? Okay. Today is the first day that it's not like 90 degrees here. I'm right outside of Philadelphia. So if you see me squinting, it's because I'm getting a little bit of the sun, so I'm sorry about that. But it's the first day that the sun hasn't been like beaming, and it's not like I'm not sweating already out here. But all right, guys. Okay, so we'll kind of get started on this here. Now, like I said, how can you create your own passion and purpose without holding yourself back? So what are some reasons why we hold ourselves back, and what can we do about them? So I think one of the biggest ones, and the first point that we're going to talk about, is that you might be afraid of the life that you could have, right? So I know that sounds weird because you can probably rattle off all of the things that you want in life, but we don't really take the time to look at how having those things can affect our lives, right? So, we want all these nice things. We want, a big house. We want a car. We want to have a good and steady job. We want to have healthy relationships in our lives. We want to be physically healthy. All of these things and so much more. We want to find our passion. We want to find our purpose. We want to be able to be living the life that God really wants us to be living, and the one that He has set for us. But we don't think about how having those things will actually change our lives and make an impact. Because if we do think about those things, it can be kind of scary, right? Because sometimes when we have these things, there are other things that come along with them, right? And one of them being responsibility, right? So you have, this beautiful house, this huge house with a pool and everything else that you could possibly want in it. But with that wonderful thing that you might want in your life is going to come with a higher mortgage, probably, right? You're going to need more money for a down payment. Your bills in general might be a little bit higher. So that's going to put pressure on you to, really succeed at your job, to be able to be bringing in that money to pay for those things. So that can put a little bit of pressure on that. You're going to have more cleaning to do, right? Things like that. People don't think about those things. So, even though we can want all these things, they do come with consequences. Not saying that all the consequences are bad, or there is bad things that come with all of the things that we want, but when we take time to think about them, it can be a little bit scary, right? So we can get afraid of having that new life, right? Even with like a career change, you know, it could be something that you really want to get you out of a bad job that you're in now, but this career change is going to come with more responsibility. It's going to come with unknowns. You know, you might be struggling with some confidence issues, you know, so these things kind of play in the back of our minds and our subconscious, so that could make us afraid of having the life that we say that we want, right? Now, this is a huge, huge block, okay? And I see it all the time. So, you know, you are blocking yourself with these limiting beliefs, okay? So what are limiting beliefs? These are things that you have convinced yourself over time are true about you, but most of the time they really have no validity to them whatsoever, okay? And now these could be things that you have you know, kept with you since childhood. Maybe they've developed over time in certain relationships that you've had, but these limiting beliefs are, you know, they keep you afraid of the life that you say that you want, okay? They keep you in that scared you know, space, and even though that scared space, that could be your comfort zone, okay? So, you know, that too, this piece of that comfort zone can really, really hold you back from doing what you really want in life, or even from exploring and figuring out what you want in life, right? So, because in the comfort zone, right, everything's nice and hunky-dory. It's, you know, it can be reliable, it can be predictable, we know what's going to happen, we don't really have to do much, we can just sit here and, you know, we kind of know how the day is going to go, you know, and we get stuck in this place, right, of being so comfortable here. But in the end, when you think about it, I mean, how comfortable really, really are you, right? You're not that comfortable if you're thinking about making a big change, right? But it's that piece, those limiting beliefs that they come in and they keep you scared from going after your dreams. They keep you scared from finding your passion and your purpose. They keep you scared from moving out of your comfort zone and moving forward with your life, right? So, you know, this is why we can become, you know, so afraid of the things that we want, and therefore, you know, our feelings of being scared become so overwhelming, or they become so much more that, you know, we find that easier to do than actually pushing them aside and moving forward towards what we want. So all of these limiting beliefs and this sense of, you know, being scared to move on, it really can like completely mess with your confidence, right? So it's, sorry, that sun is like right in my eyes. I'm sorry for like squinting at you guys. But, you know, it breaks down your self-confidence. It makes you think that you can't do things, right? It keeps you scared. It keeps you afraid. And, you know, with all of that scared, low confidence, you know, blocking, it's, I might have to move this. It's really just, you know, clogging up your spiritual channels. That's what it's doing. It's making your spiritual channels so, you know, you can't receive messages about your passion and your purpose. You can't receive messages that you are, you know, on the right track, or that you're doing things right. You know, these signs can be very comforting to some people, myself included, right? You know, we always want that security of knowing that, you know, we're doing the right thing. But with all of these negative emotions coming in, you know, being so scared, and then sometimes we can become, you know, resentful towards ourselves that, you know, we can't move forward, or we just can't do things. And with all this negativity and not being able to be that confident, empowered person, it can really, it just like completely like closes up your spiritual channels, and you can't get anywhere like that, You can't get anywhere like that. So, you know, that is part of, you know, these blocked off spiritual channels is part of what is holding you back from being able to find and create your passion and purpose in your life. Okay? So, you know, being able to identify that, identify specific limiting beliefs that are holding you back, exactly what is making you afraid from moving forward, and really taking a look at how amazing your life could be if you did make these changes. You know, what would really happen? So looking at all those things and, you know, breaking through these blocks and clearing them completely so that you can move forward. Okay? So that's really one of the big ones. Just being afraid of the life that you actually could have. Okay? So the second one, sorry, I might have to move this here. I'm gonna move this way a little bit. Sorry guys, that sun is really wicked. Here we go. We're gonna go for a little ride here, and hopefully I don't drop the camera. Ah! Okay. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I got my tea. All right, one more chair length over. Okay. I didn't bring my sunglasses out here because it's been all, it's been so, no, sorry, now I have to look at the back of my house. I apologize. There we go. It's been so cloudy today that I didn't think I would need them, so I didn't bring them out. I'm like, I don't need this today. Okay. Things happen. You just gotta go with the flow, right? Okay. So the second part we're gonna talk about is, you know, thinking that it's so much work to fix myself, right? You know, we have to, I don't know, especially I think today, there's so many different things that we can do for, you know, finding yourself, enlightenment, you know, increasing your spirituality, whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to use or anything. There's so many different things out there nowadays, and it can absolutely be completely overwhelming. So you're telling me that I have to do all of this stuff in order to be able to find myself? I have to do all this stuff in order to be, you know, reach spiritual enlightenment or whatever it is? Well, you don't have to do all of those things that you're reading on the internet or this and that, but yeah, it is going to be work. Okay, I mean that's not a lie. It is going to be work to find yourself, and it is completely a lifelong journey. All right, you don't have to say that you're now on this you know, spiritual path and then give yourself, you know, a year to hit spiritual enlightenment. You know, you're going to be learning things along the way. You're going to be learning things your entire life about this, okay? So I don't care how much you think you know about it, how much you think you really know about yourself or about this journey. There's always going to be more stuff that you're going to be learning. Absolutely. And that's part of the fun of it, right? It's part of the fun of it. I don't know about you guys, but I love knowledge. You know, I love learning new things and reading new books and reading articles and stuff like that. But you could read every day, all day long for the whole rest of your life, and you still wouldn't have enough time to read everything there was to learn everything there is to learn about yourself and your spiritual journey. Okay, so there's always going to be things that we can learn, and yes, it is going to be, you know, it is going to be work to, you know, to find yourself, but that's the whole fun of it, right? That's the whole fun of it. So looking at it in that respect, you know, I get to go through life and learn all these things and learn new things about myself, right? Not I have to learn all these things about myself. Nobody's forcing you to do this, but if you feel that you're being called to, you know, to develop yourself and to find your passion and purpose, if you feel like that's what you're being called to do, then you should get to do that, right? Not that you have to do that, and it sends a completely different energy in, a completely different energy. So, you know, this part of, you know, it taking too much time or taking too long or it's too much work to find yourself, I think one of the blocks that can come from this is that you are basing everything off of past experiences. Okay, so like I said, there's tons of information out there, right? And not all of it is going to be relevant to you. Not all of it is going to be helpful for you or good for you, right? So that's part of the exciting thing about it too, is that we can try different things, and if something's not working for us, then we can move on to something else. So, you know, if somebody says to you, oh, you know, I read this book, it was really amazing, it really changed my life, you know, whatever, and then you read it and you're like, oh, yeah, I mean, I can see some good things, I got some good things about it, but I really don't think it was like life-changing. You know, don't think that there's anything wrong with you or that there's anything bad about that. It just wasn't resonating with you, and you don't know, 10 years down the road, something might happen and you might think, huh, oh my gosh, that's exactly what that book was talking about. Now I completely understand, you know? So everything is introduced to us for a reason, but it might just be that you can kind of introduce a new spiritual tool, and then maybe you're just meant to keep it in your back pocket for a few years, you know? That could be. It's completely possible. You know, it's so overwhelming for me to think that you could possibly implement all of these spiritual tools in your life at one time. And I know I have to check myself sometimes because I can get a little overwhelmed with things like that. Like, I know at one point, I literally, now, I mean, you guys know, I'm like huge on crystals. I use them every day. But I had a point in my life, probably maybe a year or two ago, where I had to take like a month off crystals. I couldn't use them. It was like I completely had to like disconnect myself from them because I think I was using too much. I was trying to implement too much in my life at one time, and too much of anything isn't good, even crystals. Sorry, guys. But I felt better after that. It was almost like I had to like detox from them for a little bit, you know, and then slowly reintroduce them. But I think I was using way too much at one time, and I was trying to implement too many things at once. And, you know, your energy can get confused sometimes. You know, your energy can completely get confused. That's why I know some people ask, you know, I kind of get this a lot about crystals. Now I'm going to go on a tangent for a second, but, you know, are certain crystals not good to use together? And it's not that they're not good to use together, but like, let's say, you know, let's say you're using like a blue lace agate and a carnelian together. It's not that they aren't good, but their energies kind of like cancel each other out, right? So blue lace agate is a very, you know, gentle, calming, relaxation, very tranquil, bring that kind of energy into you, while carnelian is more upbeat, for confidence, you know, energy, motivation, things like that. So it's not that they're not good for you, it's just that they would cancel each other out, kind of. And, you know, it's too many different stuff trying to be implemented at the same time. So, you know, all right, kind of going back to those, you know, blocking yourself with past experiences, this can really be what is happening if you think that it's going to take too much time to find yourself, or whatever, because, you know, like I was saying, you might have tried something before and it didn't work. Maybe you tried something and it worked for a little bit and then it kind of stopped working. So, you know, you're using these different tools, and sometimes some things don't work at a certain point in your life, and you might be going off of that experience and saying, well, this is too much work for me to try to figure something else out, or for me to try to figure out which crystal to use or which Bible verse to read to be able to change myself. But, you know, it's not like, it's like, I think sometimes people think that like there's going to be like this huge like lightning spark in the sky, and it's going to be just like this monumental like energy explosion when you finally like realize everything about yourself. And I wish I could say that it was going to be like that, you know, not saying that you can't have like aha moments and things like that happen, but, you know, it is a process. It is a process. So don't think that just because something didn't work for you before that it's not going to work now. And don't think that if you were trying things before and you couldn't really find traction with it and you couldn't really you know, find your way with those things, that you can't ever do it. Okay? That's just, it's so important. So don't look at, you know, what you've tried in the past and use that solely to say what's going to happen in your future. Okay? So, you know, with that, people say that, you know, I can't find my passion and purpose. I've tried before, it didn't work. I can't find things that I love. I can't find things that I'm passionate about. You know, I just don't even know what I like. So if that sounds like you, then one of the things that, you know, that I do with my clients is using crystals and scripture to get you to know the answer to that question. Okay? Because that's like, that's the one of the that I see, right? I've tried before. I've tried everything. Well, no, you haven't tried everything, because if you did, then you would find something that works, right? So you haven't tried everything. You're not, you know, just hopeless to not be able to find your passion and purpose. It's not like that. So using scripture and crystals in a very specific way that I will show you how to do will increase your self-awareness. Okay? And that's the big piece. Increasing your self-awareness for you to be able to figure out exactly what you want in life and to figure out what your passion and your purpose is. Okay? So, you know, this block of looking at the past and thinking that things are always going to be too hard to do, you know, that's the block. And being able to come out of that will happen through self-awareness. Okay? That's the process. And that is what I will do with you through these different techniques that I have developed. Okay, so the third thing about holding yourself back is, and this one, I don't know, this one can be really difficult, but listening to other people, okay? Listening to other people. So why does that hold you back? So you're going to listen to people tell you how to navigate through your life. Listen to people who are telling you what you should do about, you know, your spirituality and finding yourself and living through your passion and purpose. But these people that you're listening to, are probably some of the most negative people that you've ever met in your life, right? These are people that complain all the time. They don't even know where they are in their own life. They don't follow their passion and purpose. So how are you going to listen to people tell you how to live your life that really don't even know how to fully live theirs to their fullest? Okay? So the block that can come with this is trust. So you listen to other people, do what other people say. That already is showing that you don't trust yourself. Okay? You don't trust that you can make decisions for yourself. You don't trust that you can, you know, receive signs from the universe and kind of be able to see what they're saying and figure out on your own what you should be doing. So you're lacking trust in yourself. And when you listen to those people and you do what they say and it doesn't work out for you, then you're losing trust in them too, right? You're losing trust in them too. And so this big piece of trust, you know, the number one person you should be trusting is God, okay? And God will show you how to trust yourself, okay? So if you have lack of trust in yourself, you have lack of trust in other people, that can lead to feelings of resentment. It can lead to feelings of guilt. Can just lead to feelings of I'm not good enough, I don't have a passion and purpose. all that crap that you tell yourself, right? So you could also be losing trust in God, right? And that is absolutely the last thing that you ever want to do, because if you can't trust anybody in your life, you can always trust God. So using the Bible, and I like taking this very different approach in my coaching, because I haven't seen that anybody else is really doing this, and it really does make such a huge impact. As Christians, we can, I think a lot of us don't fully use the Bible to our advantage, okay? I'll just say that. And that's what I want to do through my coaching for you. And using the Bible will help you to develop a more trusting relationship towards God, okay? It will help to open up your relationship with God. And what is that doing? Like we talked about, opening up those spiritual channels. So, because God is always guiding you, always. And by opening up these spiritual channels, you will be able to then better, like I keep saying, receive these messages that that you are getting daily, but you either don't know how to see them, you don't know how to look for them. They are happening, but sometimes we can just have these blinders on, and it's so hard for us to see them. So, by building that trust back up that that you have inside of you, you will be able to open up your spiritual channels, and you will be able to trust yourself, right? So you'll trust the signs that God is giving you. You will trust the decisions that you're making for yourself. And you will be able to stop listening, not saying that you can't take advice or talk to other people about your problems, but in the end, you are the one that's going to know what is best for you, okay? You're the one that's going to know. And you have to be able to trust your intuition, trust yourself, trust your gut, okay? And that's what I will help you to be able to develop to do. Okay, because that trust in God and that trust in yourself is so important in your life. Okay, so we will do this. We will do this through a variety of different techniques. Like I said, using scripture and using crystals. I like to do a lot of visualization techniques to be able to, after we identify your blocks, your specific blocks regarding all of these things that we just talked about, we are going to, identify these specific blocks that you're having, and then use different visualization techniques to break through these blocks. Okay, that is the point. We want to break through these blocks so that you can then feel that you have the confidence and you will have the energy within you, okay? And this is part of where the crystal energy healing comes in, that you will now have this newfound confidence, this new trust in yourself, this new energy around you to allow your spiritual channels to become crystal clear so that you can fully lead yourself to your passion and your purpose, okay? So that is... it's completely transformational, and I'm telling you, no matter which one of these blocks, and I know there are many more, but no matter which one of these blocks you feel that you have, you feel like you resonate with all of these, okay? But that is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through and identify all of the blocks that are holding you back, how you are holding yourself back, okay? And then through visualization techniques and scripture work, we're going to break down these blocks, and then we're going to bring in the piece of crystal energy to get you energetically to a point where you feel that you have crystal clear spiritual channels so that you can live your life with complete unwavering passion and purpose. That is what I want for you. So if you feel like this is you, okay, in any of these forms, or like I said, maybe all of them, I want you to schedule a crystal clear strategy session with me so that we can talk more about this, okay? I want to talk more about this with you so that you can understand, you know, really what is holding you back and how I can help you move forward from that, all right? So I'm going to leave a link in the comments below, and you can just click on that link. It'll take you right to my calendar, and I want you to schedule a time that we can talk about this, okay? Because I want you living your life with full passion and purpose, okay? That is God's plan for you, and that is my plan for you as well.